William, we see you playing with your hair, man. I'm just letting you know that. All right, let me. Is my screen still sharing? Let me make sure that thing ain't sharing no more. And then I'm gonna stop the live screen too. And then we're gonna start it back. All right, William, can you hear me? Let me unmute you, brother. Let me make you the co. I'm gonna make you the co-author. All right, co-host. Give it to you. All right, so we're gonna start over because hey, that was just technical difficulties, crazy everywhere, right? So, William, I'm Terrence Williams. Why wait to be great? I have one of my mentees on the call tonight, William Campbell. He's a college student, just turned 20, and he's in his 21 now. And now he would like to express some thoughts and put it out in the atmosphere, right? And he would like to, he called me today and said, hey, coach, I really want to round table it where everybody have opportunity to weigh in. So as this young man speak and as he say what he's going to say, please take a piece of paper out or something or your phone out, take a couple of notes. So as he present or as he bring out some ideas and concepts or perspective, right? Then I would like for you all to be ready to say something or kind of motivate and guide the conversation and open it up. If not, I definitely would do it. I have my paper ready. I have my notebooks ready. I have my pens ready. I have highlighters ready. I have everything ready, right? Besides a microphone. But anyway, so neither here or there. Thank you, William, for showing up tonight. Looking forward to your conversation. We'll talk, not real talk, but we'll talk, talking about how can we come back together? How can we start back building trust? And how can we move forward in the future? Is some of the topics that he had hit. And I gave him a couple other little tidbits to kind of think about without giving him a script. I don't like scripts. I like folks to come from the hip. I like folks to come from their heart. I like folks to be genuine when they present. So, William, appreciate you. I'm going to be quiet now, and I'm going to let you speak for a little while. I got a surprise for you at the end. And anybody that stay on all the way to the end or so, midway, I got a little shocker for William. I want y'all to see his face, so you got to keep your camera on when I show this shocker. All right, Will, you can talk. Man, I thought I unmute you. Yeah, okay, let me unmute you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So I want to talk about pretty much trust in the community. And I've been thinking and I've been trying to figure it out. And I don't really think too much that it's the trust, but it's more so something that I think that our community is going through, which is an identity crisis. Within the identity crisis, we try to value our lives based off of a European standard of what success is, right? If we start banding together and fences like Deion Sanders, right? I had a conversation with a couple of my partners over about the situation, and my opinion on it is I think that he was wrong, but it's not for the simple fact that he left Jackson State, but it was leaving the HBCU for PWI, right? It's a known fact that Black people dominate any sport that we are put in, right? So my question is, when are we going to stop allowing the Europeans, or when we going to stop allowing the white people to exploit our talents and exploit us and making profit off of what our abilities is instead of taking our skills, our talent, and our abilities to our people? You know what I'm saying? And using that to help our community out. Another thing, a lot of people might find this a little controversial, but we got to start sticking with our women more, our Black women. It's a lot of brothers out there who would choose another woman in a different race over a Black woman. I feel like that's a problem. Black women is the queens, and they're the ones that's by fact, right? Women outlive men. And marriage has always been a political thing, forever and always will be. So when we marry outside our race, you got to understand that, okay, cool. When we pass, our money goes back to that white family. It goes back to the family. So therefore, you're taking away from your community at the end of the day. Another thing, you ain't never heard of a rich white woman marrying a broke black man. You see what I'm saying? So that's where that political thing comes into play. No. Only black men that get these white women. Well, let me rephrase it. They be the leftovers. What Dr. Umar Johnson would say. They be the leftovers. What it says on this weird expression. But what I'm saying is, if we start respecting our women and start putting our women first, it's another thing that will help our community. Other thing is, we got to start educating each other. Starting with the youth, we got to start educating each other. If we don't educate and teach, if we don't, history, right? History always repeats itself, right? So if you never teach history, then it's going to be destined to repeat itself because no one knows what mistakes were made. So therefore, if you don't know where a mistake was made, how could you go back and fix it? So if we start understanding, okay, this is what us as Black people, we messed up. We was too gullible back then. So if we start educating ourselves, teaching ourselves about our history, it will show us a lot more that no one can help us but us. And it's going to take us coming together. Coach, you got any, want to weigh in on anything?
So I'm over here taking notes based on what you're saying. First, you brought up Deion Sanders. Then you brought up Black families. That's why I put Black families for highlight. Taking away from company, educate teacher. Educate, you need to talk about history, man. And those are the main topics that I heard. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Family, history, and Deion Sanders, right? So you led with Deion Sanders. What is it about Deion Sanders' situation that you feel is maybe not correct or right?
I feel like that we shouldn't be always running to where the money is. Think about this, right? Deion Sanders, arguably one of the greatest football players of all time, right? We have seen that Deion Sanders got money, right? So, in my opinion, I feel like it's being selfish because there's a lot of stuff that he could have started and could have brought to the HBCUs. Right? I'm at PWI, right? And this is something that I found out that I didn't know. Most of your top players go to PWIs. Is that true?
You said DWI? Where?
PWIs. Most of your top players go to PWIs.
Possibly, yeah.
It goes back to what I'm saying. Our Black people, we dominate in every sport that there is. So when are we gonna stop going back to these white folks and letting them explore?
So
I'm not tripping about him leaving Jackson State. It's just like you could have went to another HBCU, making more opportunities because, again, I find a problem with our top players. If you have a top, if most of your black athletes that's destined to go to HBCU, I mean, go to an NFL, the NBA, you know what I'm saying, to go pro, and they don't come from HBCUs, it seems like a problem to me with that.
So when we're speaking on what you're speaking on is about a couple things, right? And this goes to investing. I'm gonna bring it to investing, and this is gonna go to goal setting. So the first question would be like, I get your perspective. However, with your perspective, you got to understand that everybody eat different, right? So when we're looking at this, we need to look at this from an angle of we don't know what Deion Sanders' first goal was, right? His initial goal. And because we have our thoughts about what he did based off of our thoughts about financial and what school and this and that, but we don't know what led up to Deion Sanders going from being prime time to being TV show host, TV personality for a little while, to being, I want to say, a preacher for a second or two, and then leaving the atmosphere forever for a while, and then all of a sudden, bam, pop up Jackson State, right? So we don't know that road from the beginning to the end for Deion Sanders. We don't know what was his number one goal when he came to J State. We don't know what, I don't know then, I should say, what conflicts he had at J State that maybe made him want to leave a little faster, right? Because when you talk about people of color, right, working together is very, very, very difficult, right? For one, I've been in environments where I'm in an environment with a room full of people of the opposite color, and I get treated different. And then when I'm in a room with a room full of the same color, I get treated different. And I kind of like the way I got treated better with the room with the opposite colors. Because there's less argument, less fights, less me against you. It's more everybody in that room against me. So I know where I stand, but when I'm in the other room, I don't know where I stand because any given day, something happens. So with Deion Sanders being the celebrity he is, again, played with several NBA, NFL football teams. He played a little bit of baseball, right? He also was a TV personality for quite a while. I believe he was a preacher, all right, for a second or two or something like that. Something I believe. I don't want to vouch for that. And then he disappeared, and all of a sudden he appeared at J State, and he takes the number one player that was going to a school, and he get that player, and they come to J State, and then J State even changed their colors and start adding red and prime time and all this stuff for this person. Can you imagine how many haters, possibilities that he have, possible haters in that environment that he may not feel as safe as you may think he should feel? Do you think, is that consideration?
Yes, sir.
Right? Is that a different perspective? Right? And you know, I don't want to narrow it down. Honestly, I'm not trying to narrow it down to black school, white school, you know, this, that. I'm trying to narrow it down to perspective of our people working with our people and being able to stay in that environment and trust each other and feel comfortable working with our people without feeling like somebody's trying to get us, hurt us. Because we already know that if we're in a room with an opposite color, we already know who the enemy is, right? We know we that bad person and everybody else is great. So when we're in a room with our people, we don't know when we the enemy, on what day, and what month, and what season. So, I mean, I get it, but I don't know why he went to J State. Right? We need to know that. Second, we need to understand, you know, what struggles did he have at J State? And then I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get off that part of it, and I'm going to let it open up for anybody else that want to comment on this. Tyler Perry said, well, I've read books that said that Jim Rum, yeah, I go with him, and Tyler Perry. They say that a tree grows and it branches out, and leaves come and they go. Deion came. Now he gone. He brought a lot of attention back to the HBCUs. He brought players back. He brought respect back, and he brought pride back in being a part of an organization that has been forgotten for a little while now. I mean, we still talk about Eddie Robb like Eddie Robb still living. We still talk about Doug Williams, and that was in the 1980s when he won the doggone first Super Bowl for the Washington State Washington State, he came from Grambling State. We still talking about old news, and Deion Sanders came and made new news. So I think he played his season. He played his role. I think it's time for us to pick up our game and get better at what we do and be that beacon for more people to want to come to us. And we ain't got to have that prime time name. We ain't got to be on TV. We ain't got to do it. We need to pick ourselves up and become that value that Deion brought to J-State in our own communities, in our own class, in our own world. That 720 you were talking about, right? Last a couple weeks ago. So I think that we need to look at what Deion did and say, if he can do it, we can do it too. And we can stay fast with raising people and grooming people with that mentality of, I want to be around my people and not worry about money. I don't care, but we got to be around our people and feel trusted and safe in an environment as well. So I'm going to open the floor up, and Will, you can take the lead on it. If anybody want to raise their hand and speak up on the Deion Sanders situation with him, deporting to a school that he's going to the Ohio, whatever school it is, Colorado, I don't know, some school, and D1 school. And if you want to speak on a part where you heard me speaking about, hey, all the stuff that we have to go to with working with people of our kind. So you can raise your hand to speak, and I can unmute you so that we won't have all the noise in the background. But William asked me to have this more like an open forum where everybody get to talk and have a dialogue, not just me and him or just him. So in respect to that young 21-year-old, we're going to yield to the guidance that he set forward. With that being said, I know Joe got something to say if he can speak. Hey, Joe, can you speak?
I can, Coach. Can you hear me?
Yeah, get that food out of your mouth.
Man, hey, look, this whole time, man, I'm thinking about my you please forgive me, man, that my mic was on mute, and I'm sitting here telling my kid good night, love you, you put on deodorant, all this stuff here, man. Well, I guess you get a chance, an opportunity to hear, the parenting skills unfiltered, So my apologies on that. And as well, Coach, I just hopped on. I was running a little late. As you can see, I'm on daddy duty. So I'm playing catch up right now with the conversations. But hey, if you don't mind, I wouldn't mind if you can give me a quick cliff notes on what the topic was, as I wouldn't mind, hopping in and having a discussion.
Okay, so right now we're just talking about Deion Sanders leaving J-State. That's one. Another thing is the black family, staying black men marrying black women and not going outside the race and marrying outside. And the third one was history, understanding, knowing your history, teaching other folks your history so that we won't keep repeating our history. William, did I recap that pretty good?
Yes, sir.
So those are three subjects. William have a perspective of, hey, Deion left and he got money. He don't need money. He should stay with us and keep grooming the black community and keep growing us and keeping our talent within our community. So that's the concern that he have about why did he leave and go there. And then with the families, like I said, we're marrying outside. We're taking our money, we're taking our resources outside of our community instead of staying within our community and our families. And it ain't too many times, I ain't gonna say never, but ain't too many times where you see some wealthy person outside of our race come within our race, the black male, and marry them, right? So most times it's a wealthy black male marrying outside the race to others. and not the opposite, right? William, did I say that right?
Yeah, you said it better than I did.
And then in history, basically we're standing to repeat it over and over again because we're not teaching it, we're not learning it, we're not absorbing it. And because we're not steward of our history to understand where we came from, who went through what struggles they have, we are doomed to repeat it only because we will not learn it to not repeat it. So if you don't know the history, it repeats. And I'm going to say this, William, you didn't say this one. William, and you don't have to answer this 100% if you don't want to. You can answer it in a circular way, right? Try and deflate it. Did they teach in cursive writing when you was in elementary school?
Yes, sir.
Do they teach in cursive writing now?
From what I heard, I want to say they stopped when I got in middle school.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I genuinely think that is it all right? It could be, it's all right. I mean, I don't know. You can look at it on both ends. I really don't see nothing in it, like any negative, anything bad about not knowing how to write cursive. But at the same time, if some skills that y'all have, we should, still retain them. But I mean, in the form of handwriting, I don't see it being like a big thing. But you can give me a different point of view.
No. I mean, and I would like to go around. Thank you, Joe. I'll let Joe, and I really would like to hear everybody kind of speak on this. Go ahead.
Well, Coach, you said a handful of things earlier. Whenever you asked for my feedback, and then you just brought up an excellent point. So before I yield to answering or following up with my thoughts on one of those topics. Is there anything that you would like for me to give my thoughts on? Because like I said, several different things there. As hey, I have an opinion on all of them.
We can go with the Deion Sanders first because we'll stay on the target with that one. Then we'll go to the Constitution after that.
Okay, sure. So Deion Sanders, he did an excellent job at reestablishing the culture, starting that, reestablishing the culture for the African-American community, bringing positive attention and awareness to HBCUs. At one point, there were more African-Americans in the NFL from HBCUs than there were from all other colleges combined. So it spoke to the importance of, the history and the heritage that the HBCUs have had, and the effect on the National Football League. And I'm speaking about the NFL in particular, as that was the sport that Deion was coaching, which was NCAA football. Now, Deion came, and this is me on the outside looking in. Okay, I know there's always more things that are that has taken place that has not been released to the public, as well as there's going to be false things released. But one of the things I can say is that Deion, Mr. Sanders, Coach Sanders, he came with class, he exited with class. He came with his arms open, excited about the opportunity of, teaching and coaching these young men and bringing awareness back to the HBCUs. And when he left very appreciative for the opportunity that was given to him to actually coach, and he left with class. And so for our community to be bitter, unhappy about another brother, another African-American who've come and who have escalated who have escalated his current position and is now moving on to greener pastures is unfair, it's ungodly, and it's just flat out, in my opinion, wrong. There's always more that we all can do. There's more that he can do for the school, Jackson State, more that he could do for the city, Jackson, Mississippi, more that he could do for the African-American community in Mississippi as a state. It's always more that he could do. It's always more that we could do. But he came, he maximized, in my opinion, he maximized his potential with the time that was given, the time that was allocated. And so for us to be bitter about someone moving on to continue to do it and fulfill what he believes is his destiny. That's what he believes his destiny is. At one point, we're going to have to pick and lift our own selves up by the bootstraps. He came and gave us a blueprint and showed us Oregon Ducks is not the only team out there that can have different color helmets and jerseys every single game. Alabama is not the only team that can actually get on national television. University of Texas is not the only team that can have ESPN game day there. You know, USC is not the only team that can have, Snoop Dogg, Uncle Snoop come out and speak to the team and other celebrities. He laid a blueprint. So for those of us, if we wish and have a desire to be a leader, our time too shall come. We will expire in our current roles. And there's going to be people that's always going to say, you should have, you could have, versus praising you for what you actually have done. For me, I'm a proud alum of Grambling State University, and I'm excited for what he did for the SWAC conference. Extremely excited. And I believe that all those that had an opportunity to lay their eyes upon greatness, you guys consider yourselves blessed. As myself, I wasn't afforded that opportunity in person. This man has touched more lives than I ever will, and many of us ever will. So for us to not praise him for the work he's done, not promote others behind him and keep that momentum going forward and strong, is just not right. In my opinion, it's just not right. I'm the type of brother, if I'm the leader of Jackson State University, Coach, I know that you're gone. I appreciate your time. You left us with a blueprint. Now what I ask, how can we keep this going? How can we keep this going? That's what I ask. And how can your involvement, how can you still have involvement without being in breach of contract where you're at, as well as without impeding on your time and your commitments to the University of Colorado? How can we do that? That's what I would be focused on. Following that blueprint. Following that blueprint is what I would be focused on. And praising him and, for the things that he's done. And now let that man go on and fulfill his destiny. He's chasing his destiny. He's chasing his destiny. So let's watch what other good things that this man is doing and other men and women are doing. Let's watch them, praise them for their efforts, applaud them, and see how you can be of service to them and how they can be of service to you, and go out and do some great things. Coach, that's my 2 cents on it. That's my 2 cents, Coach.
Man, that was more like $2.50, man. But
Well, hey, look, you know I'm passionate about these types of things, Coach. You know, it hurts my heart. This is just how Coach Joe sees things. It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart whenever we're ungrateful. It hurts my heart when you are ungrateful. This man donated his salary. You're right. You said he didn't need the money. It's not about the money. And he proved that to you by giving his money back. He gave more money back, Coach, more money back than a lot of Americans that's over 40 have put into Social Security. I'm gonna let that sink. In fact, I can go through I can't go through my call log anymore, but I bet I can go through my Facebook friends, because half of them I don't, I really don't know. Other half I do, but I bet I can go through my Facebook friends and I can point out 50 of them that's actually costing the US more money than this guy has given back. And don't kick over this can over here, Coach.
I know, right? That's the wrong angle right there, man. You don't open up a can of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right, that's it for Dion. So for me, I'm very appreciative again for what Coach Sanders, did for the African American community, for the HBCUs. I wish him nothing but success moving forward with all of his endeavors, and I hope his heart has not hardened and it yet softened, and for him to still understand, how much our people are still hurting emotionally, how much our people are still hurting, how much our people still continue to need support and help, because he gave it. He gave that, Coach.
Oh,
he gave that.
I appreciate that. That's some good insight too, as well. And everybody, it's all about perspective, right? It's all about perspective. And sometimes we look at it from very narrow view, or sometimes we look at it from a wider view. And that's what these conversations are supposed to do. When you have them, you have an opportunity to listen to different people's insight and glean from it and take what you like, agree with what you want to agree with, but you ain't got to ever disagree. You ain't ever got to disagree. You just agree what you want to agree with and move forward. So that's what a beautiful thing about dialogues like this, that everybody have a perspective, everybody have an idea, everybody have a concept. And sometimes when you hear other folks' perspective, the lights start coming on in the tunnel, and now you out that tunnel. Now you're in the real world instead of being in that tunnel vision. Yeah, you've been in a tunnel, been in a dark little area, then all of a sudden you start walking and keep walking, and it keep getting lighter and it keep getting lighter, and the world just get big, and you're like, wow, in the world, right? That's what I just heard happen, right? He gave you a perspective. So not to brush past you, Joe, right quick on that one, I want to go ahead and ask Miss Belinda or Mr. Wright if you want to raise your hand and speak, if you want to say something on that. We would love to hear your insight as well. Three, two, one. All right. William, would you like to follow up with anything? How did that change your perspective? Or did it change your perspective? Or do you still feel the same way? I mean, let's talk about it. We'll talk.
Okay. Me, I'm not, what's the word you use? I'm not ignoring the fact about what he did. I get that. I acknowledge that. When I had a conversation with anybody, I acknowledge that, yes, he did all of these things for Jackson State, and I completely understand it. But what it seemed like, Deion Sanders milked, now hear me out, not milked Jackson State, not out of their resources, not out of money, because again, he brought all of that with him, right? But milk them for the opportunity just so you can get a spotlight on you. The only blueprint that I see is you can milk the Black community and then go back and then come up here with these white folks. They get enough money. I'm not tripping about him leaving Jackson State. I done heard that Jackson State did a lot of effed up stuff. You feel me? A lot of money wasn't going right. I understand that. Me as a person, I would leave the environment too. But I'm not leaving HBCU for a PWI, right? Instead, I feel like what we should be doing is bringing these top Black players from these PWIs into these HBCUs. I feel like Deion Sanders could have stayed in the HBCUs a little bit longer, because he could have been a face of something that would have been a whole lot bigger. I think he left too early. He could have stayed a little bit longer. The blueprint, in my opinion, is not fully established. Because he did not set that trend to start bringing all these guys. He did one guy, but you maybe did more, I don't know. But you haven't set a trend. It's just like with the Brittany Griner situation. She's going to be a trend now on when it's coming to swapping out prisoners. You see what I'm saying? She's going to be the face of that. So he could have been the face of these Black NFL players or coaches coming to these HBCUs, come and bringing more back to the community. I would never, ever in my life invalidate another brother's accomplishments. But what I do see is that, one, we got to be unapologetically Black, meaning that we got to understand that it's okay to do something that's just 5 people, even if it's money involved on another party. It's okay to turn down this money when it's coming to the long-term goals. See, I look at stuff in the longevity way. Deion Sanders, he did a lot for Jackson State. Okay, cool. You was ready to lead up. Why not go and bring it to another HBCU who could use this same build-up that you gave Jackson State, instead of going to a PWI who already has money, who has lots of scholarships that they give kids. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I feel like by him leaving, he took the opportunity that was not yet fully established within the HBCU environment. He left too early, which means since he wasn't fully established, he took it with him. Now, of course, he ain't finna go to the white people and establish, because I mean they already got these things established. Any resources, money, they got all that. They would really need Deion Sanders' money. And I'm never saying anything about, hey, this, you know what I'm saying, this your money, you Black, so your money should go to the Black community. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is the opportunity that you could have brought out for my children's or my children's children could have been there if you would have just stayed there a little bit longer. That's my only piece on it. Okay. I never invalidate what he's accomplished.
That's why we good there. That's what I love about America. We got freedom of speech. We have a freedom to think the way we think and see this stuff. And I think you did a great job of once you got to that sweet spot. The sweet spot that I heard you say was he could have. With the blueprint that you made me hear and I can visualize was Deion said it left too early, and he could have started a blueprint more within our community of bringing more more athletes, causing them to come to our HBCUs instead of going to other schools. Because when he leaves, maybe next year in the graduation class, a lot more people gonna go there. Right? Go ahead.
Also, another thing that I did not mention shoot, it just eluded me. Keep on talking.
I got you. So I get the bigger picture of what you're saying, and I understand totally. Hey, you could have went from one HBCU to another one to kind of establish that foundation, to give these folks that exposure, to give them that guidance that we need inside, and make us a better thing. So I get it. I mean, and that's a great perspective. And like I said, you're 21 years old. So when you see things, you definitely seeing it from a different perspective than we doing it at twice your age, right? I'm 42. So when I see it, we're looking at it, hey, I've been through a lot and I know how life is. And I know that if I have an opportunity to get to another level and keep growing it, hey, boom, you're looking at like, hey, I'm at this age where we need this mentor, we need this guidance. We had somebody here, you were like a hero to most of the people around us, and now you're just gonna leave us? So I can see that I can visualize the impact that you have on young males of your age group, of what you saw and what you was witnessing firsthand by and you ain't at HBCU, right? But you hearing the rhetoric, you listening to it, you go with the flow, and you liking the movement, right? You liking the movement, then all of a sudden the movement stopped too fast for you, and like boom. But the only thing I'm gonna say is, Will, to that, life is abundance. Opportunity is abundance. Deion Sanders may be a flash, maybe a lightning strike, but hopefully somebody catch on to what you're saying right now, and they decide that they want to be that beacon. They want to be that person that make that type of change, because William just said that we were looking for that. We want that. We desire that. And because of this platform, your voice was heard by anybody that listened at that point, and maybe you inspire somebody else to be that person. But I'm gonna say the best way to inspire anybody to be more than what they are is by you being more than what you are. You being that beacon that you asking somebody else to be. You be that example. You lead it by living. And when you lead it by living, folks will follow. And not just anybody, the right folks. Deion Sanders is a leader. That's why people follow. Go ahead.
So you just came back to me. Now, this is what I was gonna say. I ain't putting this all on Deion too. No. Because now we also gotta understand that partial of this fight is us too. We not putting it on, because now one thing I do understand that HBCUs don't have the resources and everything for where our top players that looks like us to come to and actually flourish. And I understand that. And that's where we got to come in on that part. We got to start pouring in our money into these, not just to the athletic department, because I strongly feel that music and athletics shouldn't be the only thing that they'll get a black man, or to help out the black community. That should be the only thing. But we should start pouring in our money into these HBCUs, because we know this is where our people at. Like me, I come here to PWI. I know I'm gonna have the best resources. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if, even Grambling State, even though, they got a lot of people try to talk bad on them, but I have a couple of people that I talk to, and I know Grambling State, they're doing good, right? But the opportunities that we have versus Grambling, it do got to come from us at the same time, because if we're not making these opportunities, then at the same time we're not doing that. I'm not putting all this on Deion. I do know that. I want to make sure I say that partial of this fight is not just these famous people, these celebrities with all the money who we expecting to come in out here and pour into the community, which is crazy to me that we expect that when you the one who actually living in this community and you ain't pouring into it yourself. So I want to make sure I add in on it,
All right, no problem, man. I appreciate your clarification on that. Joe, go ahead, bro.
Let me see, man. I'm trying to. Okay, there we go. There we go. Man, I really appreciate this brother, as I like it because he I appreciate him because he's a thinker, and from what I've gathered, he's an independent thinker. And whether I agree or disagree, I value that and I appreciate that. Being an independent thinker. Now, here's a couple things that that I would ask. One is, it's a saying that says, be the change that you wish to see. Okay, let me repeat that one more time. Be the change that you wish to see. So number one, if you're committed as much as you say you are to, this the cause and bringing more awareness and recognition to the HBCUs, the end of this semester, you thank that university that you attend for their time, you immediately enroll in a HBCU. Be the change you wish to see. Okay, so that's one. Don't give your money away to another university that's not an HBCU. If you are a very strong advocate, find the appropriate HBCU that can support your ideas, your ideology, because where you're at is not supported as much as other institutions could be. So find the appropriate HBCU to support that. Secondly, you made the comment of Deion Sanders. Now, I'm not holding you to this, but you made the comment that Coach Sanders milked Jackson State for that opportunity. Is that correct? That was correct. Okay. So what I would ask you right now, what are you milking right now? Now, and this is not a pointing fingers, because I point one, I got three of them back at me. This is just a dialogue here. So I'll ask you, what are you milking right now?
Well, right now, yes, sir. Right now, I'm milking the white folks.
Okay. Well, and here's the thing. If we could possibly have it to where it's not white folks, or it's not it's positive things, because one of the things I would hate is for a young man like yourself who's working his way up to be basically to start being demonized, have a bullseye on your back because someone has heard and seen this interview. So I would just caution you, with that. And it's from a life perspective. It's, what are you milking? And I'm saying it's because you have to choose, you have to make a choice to milk something in life. If you do not make a choice to milk something in life, you're going to wake up and you're going to realize that you are in no better place than what you are today, than what you were yesterday. And it's about milking the right things. See, when you were born, what did they say about you? Who did they say you look like? Your mom or your dad? Do you know? Which one? Did it say you look like your mom or your dad, or both? So yeah, so see that's when you're born, people will tell you you look like your mother, your parents. When you die, you look like your decisions in life. See, that's the thing. You look like your decisions. So what I'm sharing with you is find out what it is that you're going to milk. Drain it dry. Because I will tell you, me personally, I work right now. I work I'm an entrepreneur. I work for myself. And I work more hours than you are awake a day. And I'm saying this respectfully as far as hard work goes. So it's, when I use the term blueprint,
And you said that his job wasn't finished. You know, in your eyes, you felt like more could be done. Absolutely more could be done. See, his job was finished. The job is never finished. His job was finished. The job is never finished. So it's imperative for us to have the right mindset and figure out how to encourage and motivate others to have our way of thinking and to climb that mountain together. Because I do not want us to have that crab in the pot mentality. Yes, he came here for a purpose. His purpose, everyone knew, he kept getting passed over, as you call it, the Power 5 jobs. And he wanted an opportunity. He interviewed last year with TCU. TCU chose to go in another direction. And so he chose to stay. But you know, his efforts never changed at Jackson State. He chose to stay. Right? So it's point out those solid contributions, figure out how you and I can influence change, and continue to travel down that path. Because now it's with us, we're traveling this path in different directions. You know, I want to be like the March on the Selma Bridge. Brother, let's stand side by side. And now let's travel this path. You lift me up, I lift you up. If I get too far behind, you slowing down and you bringing me, you motivating me to catch up, and vice versa. So for us, find something to milk. Find something to milk. You know, find out what that is.
I agree. As long as we ain't milking another brother or another sister.
You can milk them. Hey, but milk them the appropriate way. You know, of knowledge. Because see, with you, hey, I want to milk you and pick your brain. You know, I want to pick your brain because the conversations we're having right now, your level of intellect is 10 times greater than what mine was at your age. You know, I wasn't mature enough to have this type of conversation. You know, this is leadership style. This is leadership conversation here. And you know the term, much is given, much is required. And do know, there's people right now that don't support all the decisions you've made. You know, they don't. And as you continue to grow older and wiser, you're going to see, you're going to have to leave some people behind. And they're not bad people. They're just not your people, you know, the people that you need. So when we speak on Coach Sanders, as I shared, the job was not finished. His job was. His job was finished. The job is not. The job has to continue. You are the job. I am the job. We have to continue to encourage other young brothers and sisters, you know, to continue to strive for greatness, to continue to be of influence and influence those that follow behind us. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Sister.
Yeah, how old?
She's 23.
23? And how old are you? 21?
Yes, sir.
Amazing, 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 amazing. When you speak to people of elderly, do you find yourself using the phrases yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, excellent. Do you find yourself exhibiting the appropriate body language, posture, as well as the having the appropriate dialect with them?
Yes, sir.
Excellent, excellent. Do you find yourself often in a room with others that you may view who are a step above you?
Oh, no, no, sir.
All right.
And what, no, what, can you explain what you mean by a step above?
Well,
Sir?
and when I say a step above, this is not a, it's not negative. Step above could be associated with other directors, presidents, vice presidents, things of that nature,
Oh,
with
yes,
a
sir.
higher title.
Yes, sir.
Right. So these are the minds that we should be striving to be around more of and be more like. Right. And we take what we can from them. As you say, we milk them for all of the valuable resources that we can gather, and we allow them to do the same with us. And if the time comes for us to depart, we depart, but we can depart respectfully. Respectfully. I know you've had a girlfriend.
Yes, sir.
You know, hey, look, hey, do you think your girlfriend would say right now, or your ex-girlfriends, that you did everything you could have done? No, exactly. That's relationships, man. That's relationships. You know, it's always more that we can do. It is. It is. But at times, you know, our paths, it just comes to an end. You know, you exited those relationships, but to go fulfill your destiny somewhere else. You will leave that school you're at, either through going to another school or graduation. Your time will expire there. You know, it will. And that's what I share with other brothers and sisters, is that be respectful, be mindful, be thoughtful, and see things as they are, and how you could be the change that you wish to see. As long as you have breath, you have an opportunity to inspire. And you've inspired me, I'll tell you that. You have inspired me. I've learned a lot from you. I mean, watching you, I mean, listening to you. And I thank Coach, you know, I thank Coach probably 10, 20 times a day. But I thank him again for you know, having that relationship with you and bringing us all here together. So I really, really do, man. And I hope that we have more opportunities to spend time with one another via Zoom or in person, because I believe that between us two, man, we could plant a lot of seeds, man. Woo, boy, we could plant a lot of seeds, man. A lot of seeds. And it's a lot of things that the youth can teach the elder. There's a lot of things the elder can teach the youth. And if we go out and harvest this field, we'll see that, hey, look, as the word says, the labor is few, the harvest is plentiful. Let me say that one more time, Coach. The laborers are few, but the harvest is plentiful. And I'm a laborer, and I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna go eat. So I appreciate you for being here, Coach. I appreciate you for bringing us together. Man, it's probably one of the best talks that you know that I've been a part of, and we didn't even get a chance to touch on marrying outside of race.
You looking forward to that one, right?
Man,
Seem like
oh, it's gonna be another good one. But here's it's all about learning to work with one another. Him and I had a difference in opinions, right? Difference in opinions. But I respected him, he respected me. and our common goal was to draw closer to each other. You know, that was our common goal, to draw closer to each other. And I believe that was achieved.
Oh, absolutely. No, absolutely. And the great thing about it is, Joe, from this conversation, we have more areas that we can bring William back to speak on. So this could be a monthly thing where he come back, and because we're going from one conversation to open up, and I just said a mouthful, but you know, if you take one step, the doors open. When you take steps, doors just start open, opportunities start open. And that's why I like unscripted interviews, because opportunity is abundance. Again, that shows you how opportunity comes when you take action, right? It comes when you take action. It don't come because you sit back and wait and you pray and you wish and you hope. You pray, you wish and you hope. Praying, wishing, and hoping for stuff you can't control. Anything you control, you take action. You know, I love that thing when I say that. But listen, I told you I had a surprise. I think William already seen it. I already let the cat out the hat because I was too impatient. But William, you remember this?
Yeah, I seen them pictures.
Yeah, I told you I had a surprise at the end. So,
where you at, Coach? Point him out, Coach. Point him out.
Oh man, the one that ain't paying attention.
Hey, you had to point him out like that, though, Coach.
Hey, look at that. The one that back there worried about what somebody thinking behind his back. Like, what would you say behind me? Hey, I got one more for you. I don't know if I gotta share the other picture. Y'all can see it, the other one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can see it.
Okay, let me make it big. You look at him, want to eat everybody food.
Hey, we just talked about eating. Hey, look like he's milking over there right now, Coach. Hey, that's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, guys. So for those who don't know, I mentored and we started an organization, myself and Fred Jeter, and on the 16th Masonic District in Shreveport. I designed these shirts and everything. But these are some of my nice Pythagoras. This guy right here is the SGA president of Grambling State University right now. What's his name? What's his name?
Jaquel.
I always miss the name if I call Jabril. Jaquel Brooks. This kid right here just had a baby not too long ago.
Really?
I think they had a baby and I think they live together. I have
He
not
married,
talked to
Coach?
Brandon.
He married?
I think they did get married. I think he did get married to a young lady. I need to find out. I haven't talked to him. His dad, hey, look at him and look at me.
Yeah, boy, y'all got that cow lick for sure.
Hey, speaking of, he's kind of, well, I ain't gonna say all that. But look, his dad like my brother too, so we all looking like so. His dad a good guy, man. Dad a good guy. That's my little brother right here, man.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Ty Kerr.
Okay. Not the one in Dallas.
No. He live in Shreveport with my dad.
Okay, got it.
He said the one in Dallas gone, moved out. Both of the ones in Dallas moved. I had two in Dallas. One moved back to Washington, the other one moved back to Louisiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
Both of them back. And these boys all brothers, and they were bad. He was a sweet kid. This boy like everywhere. This boy right here was bad. He just bad. And Cottrell, boy, what Cottrell doing with himself now, man?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, they were neighbors. So, huh?
I said that was one of the brothers I had to step aside from.
Yeah, I know. They live in the same apartment complex, man, and they stayed at odds. They stayed at odds. Yeah, man, it was a good old days, man. But I definitely wanted to share that with y'all, and I wanted to share that with Will as well. Look, man, it was a powerful conversation. I think that it was strong. I think it was well needed. And this is the type of environment I really, really want. So, William, with your man, look, if we can lock you in pretty much, I would say third Tuesday of each month, man, as we talk, we'll open it up to more, but I would love to say third Tuesday, if you can get some more males together and we can have a mentoring section just as this, where we talk about certain things and people do a round table, because the goal of why wait to be great is to inspire, motivate, and encourage. So it's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about any individual. It's about what can we be in this world to make a difference, and a positive difference, not just a difference, a positive difference. And I believe that that conversation that you started off with, that you led with, and you know, you talked about some other things. However, we went to the first one and we stayed there. And I brought out a constitution and everything. So I took notes. I definitely want to go back to the marriage thing, about marrying within your culture, your race, your ethnicity, whatever you want to call it. We can go with that the next January the 3rd, because most holidays are in the 1st or the 2nd. So the 3rd, I know it ain't a holiday, and I know that time will be available, and we ain't got to worry about canceling. So with your permission, man, if you think you can yield the 3rd Tuesday of each month to be on a call, you know, we can move forward with that plan. And if things change, I promise you I'll be ready. But what you think?
I'm down.
So can I count on you? I know 3rd, y'all just get back in school. Once we got out of school for New Year's and stuff, the 3rd may be the 16th or so. It may be a Martin Luther King weekend, whatever. It don't matter. Do you think you can get with some of your friends, some of your male friends, your frat brothers, your organization brothers, whichever one you call it, and you know, maybe have them to start weighing in and getting in as well?
Yes, sir.
Let's make an attempt to do that. And if not, I'm not trying to tell you to go out there and persuade anybody. If the opportunity is there, I will continue to give you the same link. We're gonna use the same link every time for you. So you already have a link, you can share it. We just need to change the verbiage. And I may give you permission to get on my canvas and teach you how to do that canvas thing, so you can learn how to be a marketer. Because I do those things myself, and I know they ain't the best, but I try. And I'm learning as I do it. I get better and better, and then we can go from there. So with your permission, we'll stick with the 3rd Tuesday of each month. Will be Wheel Talk Tuesday.
And just a little question for my 2 millionaires in the chat.
I'm gonna go mute then, because you ain't asking me.
Well, what do you say, Coach?
I don't know. He talking about you and Miss Belinda, because he said he got a question for 2 millionaires. I'm like, man, I don't know what he's talking about. Ain't no millionaire.
Oh man, I tell you what, let my son answer that, because let my son answer that, because hey, my son said he's 12, no, he's 10 years old. He said, Daddy, I'm gonna make sure they put some respect on your name. Some respect. No, I'm not even gonna get into all that, but you remember the conversation, Coach.
Yeah.
But yes, sir, Mr. Will, how can we help you?
Go ahead, Will.
I've been thinking, and I just want to see, what do y'all like? Of course I know I need money and funding. That last thing, but blueprints on trying to get a independent Black institution with private school, but not higher education, but like elementary, middle school, something to where we can start teaching to our kids, and actually, like Dr. Umar, he got the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy, right? And he's teaching his curriculum, besides, you know, from reading, science, math, social studies. He also got military science, agricultural science, you know, stuff to teach the community how to thrive. Something that we don't have in our schools, but I want to help make opportunity for kids, because one of the main things that we do got that's wrong, that is miseducation. And if we can control our education, that would be a step up for us, especially for the ones that's coming in after me. If that makes sense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. So, Coach, you want me to take this one, Coach, or?
You can take the lead on that. I'll follow up.
Okay. So, the very first thing that I would suggest is it's a lot of work, and And so I'm gonna hit and highlight just on a couple things here. Okay. So number one, you have to learn how to get along with all groups of ethnicity. All groups of ethnicity. So, and you have to learn not just to get along, but you have to learn how to influence them to your way of thinking. Okay, because
Only obstacle.
as you mentioned, funding, that's going to be very important. Curriculum is going to be very important. Getting you're just going to have to work with a lot of different ethnicity groups, right? So that's number one. Number two, you have to perfect your image. You have to perfect your image. One of the things that I've been working on here for these last several weeks here is putting myself in a position to where, one, I can recapture my image. Okay. Then two, I can work on recapturing the image of Black men. Right. Because I study a lot. I'm a study of life, a study of habits, and a studier of people. And one of the things I learned is that, in order for me to influence, I have to be influenced. In order for me to lead, hey, I have to be a follower. And so what does that leader look like that I want to follow? From an intellectual level to an actual physical appearance level. What does that leader look like, smell like, sound like, walk like, talk like? What does that leader look like? So for me, it's not me copying that someone else. It's me taking parts and pieces and building my structure. Okay, so you learn how to get along with other people, perfect your image. Okay, develop your why, and learn how to sell. Develop your why and learn how to sell. We as people, we don't care what you do. We don't care how you do it, but we will be inspired by why you do it. As the saying say, people will not remember what you said, what you did, but they will remember how you made them feel. And your why is typically what makes them remember that. And learn how to sell. The better you are at selling, the better you will get at closing. And at the end of the day, the more you will get, the more contributions you will get and receive towards the goal that you set for yourself. Yep, sell, close. So those are the things that I would say. And study wealthy people. Study outliers. Study thinkers. Dr. Umar Johnson, he's very man. That's one passionate brother. Amazing. And one of the things that I would say is, man, if he could just get along with those of a different skin color, I would hate to see what this brother could be. I could hate, and whenever I say get along, I'm not saying that he dislikes anyone. But if he could get along and persuade others, man, hey, that brother there, he'll be cold. But everyone, he's driven by something, that, honestly, it's just remarkable. Because you can't describe how passionate and driven that guy is behind what his beliefs are. And I love listening to him. He educates me every single time. I'm appreciative of that guy, just as I'm appreciative of you. And I learn from him just as I learn from all these others. The better you are able to get along with people and influence others, boy, oh boy, you have no idea. You just have no idea what's out there. No idea. I'm right there from Grambling, Louisiana. And I'm riding on private jets with the owner of the San Antonio Spurs. I'm taking, day trips with another multimillionaire owns a chain of furniture stores. I'm very close friends with one of the top brokers here in the state of Texas that's under the age of 35. Making plans now of partnering with a gentleman who started building projects in Dubai. And I'm sharing these things because they're all more wealthier than me, and none of them look like me, but they all respect me. I respect them, and man, great things are happening. Great things are happening. I can tell this is going to be a powerful session. Great opportunity for us both to, be a part of each other's lives. And I appreciate you, brother. I do.
Sure.
Awesome sauce. Awesome
Appreciate you
sauce.
too, boss.
So, hey, look, I'm not going to follow with that because I think it was powerful. I think he gave some great key points. Joe gave some great key points, and there's no reason me to follow behind someone that have laid a roadmap for you. And I hope you took a pen and paper out to write down, get along with other people, be persuasive, perfect your image, who you are and what people want to follow and who want to follow you. So become that person that you want folks to follow, because what you look like is what's going to follow you. Right. And perfect your why, understand why you're doing it, and be able to articulate clearly your why. And then learn how to sell, learn how to give and persuade and put your information in front of others in a logical format that they can absorb it. And then follow the wealthy, right? Success leave breadcrumbs. So if you understand their path to their process, then you can also glean it as well. And it's the apple don't fall too far from the tree. So if you understand the path, take the path of least resistance and do it. And like he said, he gave you a whole name of Mr. Dr. Omar Johnson, which is a person that he says has a very strong personality, a passion for what he does. And he's very enlightened. And once he figure out the power of persuasion to get others to feel what he's coming from, then he feel like that person have opportunity to be more than anyone else that he noticed in that lane. So, brother, did I misquote you?
No, not at all. Not at all, man. Look, like I said, man, these are like hot topics, passionate topics, for me as, when others share, I turn on my ears and I close my mouth and I listen to understand and to learn. And then when I'm given the opportunity to speak, man, hey, I try to, bring the funk just as they did. And so yeah, I appreciate everything both of you have done.
Man, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. So the third Tuesdays of each month should be very dynamic. I planned it. Hey, most holidays on the 1st or the 2nd. So the 3rd is wide open. I don't want to cancel these. I want these to be going. So the show must go on regardless. And we're looking forward, like my brother Joe said, we're looking forward to growing more. And as you can see, I've been in your life. That was 6 years ago, that picture, 6 or 7 years ago. So we've been in each other's lives for quite a while, way longer than that. But just to know that I still captured those moments and I still have it. And when I saw them today, I like, oh yeah, let me download this right now. Let me screen print it. Let me email it to myself so I can have it in so many different places that when Murphy Law happens, I already have a plan in place to still project it and put it out there. So dynamic night tonight. Awesome night, as y'all can hear my voice cracking and everything going on. I'm feeling horrible. The show must go on. Things must happen. And we have to be that positive difference. So inspire, motivate, encourage. William, definitely when I send you this back, man, take out the time to listen to this. Hear some of the things, the critique, some of the words. Listen to some of the things that Coach Joe said, Coach Williams said, and that you said. And I love this fact about you. And like Coach said, you're a thinker. You stayed on your point, what you felt, regardless of what we said. And I love that. You didn't change your perspective you didn't change 100% of your perspective, right? Based off what you heard. You still was determined to say that, hey, This is my angle. I believe in this part of it, right? You did being a little bit flex a little bit based off of the different perceptions of others. And this ain't no persuasion thing, but I like the fact that you had your concrete part about, I was looking at this man as a mentor. His time went too fast. I wish he could have stayed longer because it could have lasted longer, right? And I love the fact that Coach Joe tied together relationships in your past that you got out of, and they said you could have did more, and brought that back together full circle to you to let you know that you could have done more in something. And then he also brought out, hey, you're saying that he's going to this school, but what school you at? You ain't been a leader, what you're saying. So it's a lot of key points that I gleaned and I captured because I got a photographic memory and I see things as it said, and I can play it back in my head just as a picture. And that's why I do this with my hand, because I'm actually going to pinpoint a spot. So I'm sorry, that's me. But nonetheless, I mean, you know, this come with practice, and it come with determination, it come with love and guidance, right? So I'm asking you to go back. When you go to YouTube, it's already on YouTube, but I'm gonna share it with you again, make sure you got the link. And I want you to go back and take our time to stop and pause and listen to this conversation, listen to the flow, listen to the ebbs and flow, because I think you're gonna be a dynamic person for everybody in the future. And this is a coaching program as well to help you grow, right? And you take what you like, you dismiss what you don't disagree, you don't argue, you go with what you like, you stay on path, you be concrete, and stay consistent. And those things, persistent and consistent, is what make the difference in being whomever you want to be. Consistent and persistent. When you ain't those two things, you ain't nothing. I'm saying that right. You ain't nothing. No double negatives, double contractions, whatever. You got to be persistent and you got to be consistent. You got to know what you want and you got to stay on path to get it. That's the only way you can get it. That's what, in my life, in my humble opinion, what made me who I am today. That's why I can wear these different logos and have all the different stuff around me, because I was persistent on what I wanted, and I'm consistent on taking the actions to acquire what I want. And not looking at the left. Well, damn, I don't know my left, right. My left, my right. I'm not looking at the left or right of everybody else, what they're doing. And if I am looking at left or right of what I'm doing, that's my temperature gauge. That's my thermometer. They let me know, am I on path? Am I cold? Am I lukewarm? Am I hot? Am I real there? Am I there? That's why I look at the people left or right, because I want the people on left or right of me to keep on being that person poking me, pushing me up to be hot and on fire, 200 degrees, right? So, man, that rap came to my head, 200 degrees but never mind, 8-ball, MJG, you know, I'm just playing. So y'all take care, man. It's been a dynamic night. I hope everybody that listens to this gleans something from it. We're trying, and I thank you, Joe, for bringing it back to, hey, it ain't about this, it ain't about that. It's about our perspective, and it's about working together, and it's about, you know, nurturing thoughts and being definitely not keeping targets anywhere near us, right? This is not about bashing anybody. It's not about anybody's wrong. Nobody's wrong. Everybody's right in their own light. And we're just trying to find a way to inspire the ones that want to go the path of least resistance, to hear people that have the freedom of speech, and to be encouraged, inspired, motivated, and grow. And take action in your house, your school, your community, your neighborhood, your world, to be the positive difference, to be the positive difference, to be the positive difference. Peace.
Peace, peace.
Love, brothers.